In Where the Wind Carries You, which is an adaptation of the cartoon show episode Never Smurf Off Till Tomorrow, Tapper, who appears in the place of the adult Nat Smurf among the Smurfs who were taken by the hurricane and dumped inside a volcano which they escape, claims the blood of Jesus Christ over himself and his fellow Smurfs to protect them from the sharks that come swimming around them, ready to devour them. Whether it is because of this or what Tapper says, the sharks eventually swimming away, leaving the Smurfs unharmed. Ooh, alright, yeah, so first episode of the Talkin Topics Podcast. I'm your host, Gooterspooch, and with me today is my brother, Durzo. Say hello, Durzo.
Hello.
And this guy named I'm Oscar Mike, otherwise known as Michael, king of the Detroit Exclusionary Zone and leader of the Hell Drivers. Say hello, Mike.
Hey.
Your name is also Durzo, so I guess that makes you cool.
Alright.
Alright, so I brought you here today to discuss topics, and one topic in particular.
Ooh.
Do you guys know what the Smurfs are?
Yes.
Yeah.
Little blue people with white clothes, there's one girl and an old dude, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well, are you aware of the fandom and fan and wiki scene?
No.
Well, okay, so lots of games, media, and stuff will have fan wikis dedicated. Not like Wikipedia wikis, which are about information. The fan wikis on the fanon wiki, fanon.wiki if you will, is made by fans and run by the community, and it's all about everything about it. So you can put like fan fiction on there, everything you need. And that actually brings us to our first little topic.
I don't like where this is going.
Yes. We're going to be talking about a very specific fan wiki. If you'd like to join me on the stream, we're going to be talking about one of the contributors on the Smurfs fanon wiki, who goes by the name Vic George.
I don't like that profile picture already.
You don't like the profile
Nope.
picture?
No,
Why don't you like the
not at
profile
all.
picture? Hold on.
Is he in like a school classroom?
My mouse has disappeared.
I feel like he's a chemistry teacher in middle school.
And Vic George. Now, Vic George is an interesting man. If you see, there's a very nice picture of him right here in his Halloween costume. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about Vic George.
Ooh, those
So
popular
Vic George
pages.
is, I'm not sure if this is true, but after a bit of research, I'm willing to say it, the most prolific fan fiction Smurf writer in existence. If you notice, he has 2,228 posts on the Smurfs fanon wiki and 69,514 edits. This morning it was 69,503. So he is still active. He does actually have a little nice voice message. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but we'll play it.
Hello, this is Vic George of the Smurfs fanon wiki.
That's
That is not the voice I was expecting.
yes, I'm not
at
sure
all.
if that's Vic George's voice, but if it was, it'd be great. If you notice, he has an impeccable sense of style with his nice, I think it's beret. If you notice, he's Scottish in his heritage post. He's Scottish, fucking French, and English. And
Well, it looks
also,
like
he has
Indian,
a very
too.
wonderful kilt and a nice remote in his hand. I believe that is a record player, but I'm not sure. He has a nice Smurf-based calendar or something going on back here. And this is his artist rendition of him as a Smurf. Any questions so far?
Damn,
Prob-
this is one of those images that every little detail is something more horrific than the last.
Yep. The more you look at it, the more you realize you don't want to
You
look at
notice
it.
that he has 30,140 achievement points, and he's
See, I don't have
ranked
a basis
number
for that.
one on the Smurf fanon wiki.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
Actually,
basis
I
then.
haven't checked this. Let's see. Who is number 2? Okay, so he is definitely the
Oh,
most. He is
okay,
the
yeah,
most
that's-
powerful man in the Smurf fandom.
That is definitely a good indicator of.
Also,
difference.
on Najib bin Salam.
Well, isn't he the curator?
No, there is no curators. It's a fan site. They're all like curated as a group. It's a wiki.
Oh.
Okay, and his about me is pretty good. I'll read it aloud, but you can read along. I'm Vic George, and I've been playing video games since the late 1970s, around the time the Atari 2600 came out, which was the first video game system I owned. While I'm a fan of the Smurfs, I don't collect anything of them except for videos, books, and video games. I do have the occasional PVC display in my apartment, but I prefer not to collect them. I started doing Smurfs fanfiction as early as the 1980s when the cartoon show was on air. There is proof of this. Saturday morning. My Empath, the Luckiest Smurf story series, however, got its start around the late 1990s. Also a ton of proof for that. And has been ongoing ever since, barring the occasions between works. Any questions so far?
I don't want to
Many,
ask.
but none that I want to ask.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
exactly.
So first of all, he is a prolific gamer. His main consoles, the main ones he plays, the Atari 2600. He doesn't currently own that one, or he does currently own that one. The 7800, the Intellivision, the ColecoVision, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the Sega Genesis with Sega CD, the Nintendo 64, the PS1 and 2, the GameCube, the Wii U, the Nintendo Switch, and the Xbox 360. I believe his current platform of choice would be the Nintendo Switch. He also has a large number of handhelds and computers and media devices. Movies that he has ever owned.
Why
Here
do
they
we
are.
care?
What do you mean? He's trying to let you know who he is. He is the grand poobah of the Smurfs fan and wiki. And therefore, it is very important that you understand what he is about. You might
Therefore,
notice that
it's-
among... I'm sorry?
Therefore, it's critical that we know that he owns the last Starfighter.
Yes,
Oh, I
but
was looking
it's
at
very...
Jesus
The
1979.
critical part of this current image that you're looking at is this one.
Yeah, like I said, Jesus
But
1979.
we'll get back to that. Well, just keep that one in your brain. That's Jesus 1979. It's pretty good. But yeah, he also has Oz the Great and Powerful, The Passion of the Christ, another very important one to keep in mind. Reefer Madness. Gotta love that one. The original
Why?
RoboCop trilogy. He has Tron Legacy, all that stuff. He created the Smurf head logo. That's it. These are all his fan fictions that he has wrote. I'm going to let you know right now. Some of these are short stories. We will get to some of those. We're not going to read them, but I'll tell you about them. But some of these are novel-length books about the Smurfs, specifically in his own universe. Empath, the Luckiest Smurf. And then he has a song parodied about Video Killed the Radio Star. I saw them back in... I can't do it. But if you've heard the song, here it is, the whole parody. This is on his About Me page. And here are his memes. A good one I remember is this one. We'll find out what he means by this. This is a reaction image to the haters.
Okay.
Yes. This is another one from imageflip.com. Another really great one was this one. I'm not sure if this is charged in any way, but it seems like it.
Yeah.
And I believe he made this one. Any questions so far? This is the first page we're going to be looking at today.
Oh boy.
It gets better. Any questions at all?
I'm sure they'll be answered in a second.
Okay, do you guys just want to get straight into it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just rip it off like a band-aid. Let's go.
Okay, well, if you notice, there's message wall, blog, contributions. This is too long. I didn't go through contributions. And activity. We could check his activity real quick. It won't show. Okay, cool. But in any case, I have gone through his blog. We'll go through some fine sections of that.
Oh dear lord.
We'll cover this up for now. We'll get back to the message wall.
Why spoil the surprise?
Yeah, we'll get back to the message. Well, look at this. Actually, no. We'll look at this. We'll take it all in.
Why are we still staring at this image?
Are all the issues resolved?
I would hope so. We'll
Okay.
see.
Fantastic. So, let's go back. The message wall. These are things he's posted or he's talked about. He's really into the fanfic episodes, which you can tell are very high quality with all their white outlines. This is Big Mouth being turned into a Smurf, so if you're wondering. There's a lot of other shit here, but we're going to get to the good stuff. Next tab. This is one of his very first things. This is the list of all of his works, and every single time, I'll let him explain it, according to Vic George. Here is a rundown of the stories in Empath, the Luckiest Smurf, series so far, as what has been done as far as sex is concerned. And we'll get there. We'll get there. Empath, the Luckiest Smurf. Novel. Implied nocturnal emission.
Oh, good. Why?
We'll get to it. We will get to it, Mike. We will get to it. I Dream of Smurfette. Implied nocturnal emission.
Well, I mean, I guess that would make sense.
Papa's Big Crush. Implied masturbation with a love doll.
What?
You do not fuck love dolls. You masturbate with them. Smurfany of the Night. Just kissing. No sex. Virtual Smurfality. Implied sex with Imaginarium characters. Nothing definite. We will get to the Imaginarium.
Okay.
The No Hug Zone. Hug assault on Grouchy. No sex. Papa Smurf and Mama Smurf. Implied marital sex. We'll get to that too. The Exile from Psychelia. Just kissing. And it goes on and on. There's one that I like a lot. Days of Auld Lang Smurf. Implied sex. Both with an Imaginarium character and with a resurrected character. Now, I'll be 100% honest with you. I did not bother reading that one. There is far too much of this shit to read. Hefty, the Luckiest Smurf. An alternate reality. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Implied sex. You know, and it goes on and on and on. And on and on and on. And on and on. And on and on. And it keeps going. And it keeps going.
Well,
this is
at
another
least
great one.
not all of them have sex.
Empath about Smurfette's possible relations. We'll get to that. Immoral relations going on with the Mirror Universe Smurfs. Remember Jesus 1979? Immoral. Okay, we'll get to it. And then, you know, lots of other shit. But, you know, and then there's some shit talking down here. We don't have to worry about this, but he does regularly reply to these people. Next on his blog. This is him fighting back against all the people that are trying to stunt his creative brain from spewing out his amazing ideas about the Smurfs versus the pure people who want the only Smurf content that exists is those produced by first parties. One of my favorite things. I was thinking about the same issue some people have with creative liberty. That some folks do not like having their cartooners characters being tainted by adult things, even in fan fiction. How are we feeling so far, guys?
I don't like where this is going.
Well, I want your opinion. What do you think of Vic George?
Seems like he's going to awful long lengths to justify that he wants to watch, or rather, imagine his favorite cartoon characters banging, which I can't blame him for that.
I mean, he seems pretty innocent, in all honesty, based on this, because he's, like, really laid it out whether things are adult or not.
Yes. Oh, okay. We'll move on. We'll move on. This is him reposting a Smurf anatomy picture. This has nothing to do with his work. I just thought it was very interesting how Smurfs have, like, weird bones in their, like, glove hands. But, yeah, there you go. So he definitely is on Facebook looking at this shit, I believe. Yep, posted on Facebook. This is Vic George relaying a story. At church service Sunday, I began what sounded like praying in the spirit, though all I could hear myself saying was just one word over and over. Tonight I went from one word to a phrase that sounded like it was in a foreign language, but it wasn't in a foreign language that I've even heard anyone speak. I think it may be my moment of speaking in tongues, as the Bible calls it. This is a sample of what I recorded myself saying.
Oh, God.
Ihmehi kosahama shamala. Ihmehi kosahama shamala.
Yeah?
Okay.
Okay. So we're moving on. This, another fun thing, this is his oat burger recipes. You need one 29-ounce can of tomato sauce, 3 cups of oats, 1 cup of ground breadcrumbs, 2 eggs, 1 cup pickled relish, 1 large yellow onion chopped and diced, 1 large green pepper chopped and diced, some garlic powder, some seasoned salt, some other spices. Mix together the oats and breadcrumbs in a large mixing bowl. Then add tomato sauce and eggs. Add relish, chopped onions, and chopped peppers. Add a dash of spices and mix it together thoroughly. Let mixture sit in a refrigerator for about half an hour. Then use a half spoon or a half cup scoop to form into patties and freeze in sandwich bags. Cook patties on a frying pan over medium heat with a small amount of cooking oil. Fry each side until toasted. That's how you make your oat burger.
Like, I get that this is his blog, but why is this on here?
This is his blog on the Smurf Fandom Wiki. And it's because he wants it, Mike. It's about creative liberty. And if you don't believe in creative liberty, you're a fucking Puritan, okay?
I mean, I don't care about his oat burgers.
This is Empath following the Dragon Age 2 personalities. We don't have to read these, but this is Empath. This is his guy. This is his man right here. This is the first time we get to actually see Empath. He's got a little star, and he's got a lot of stars on him, and his shirt is blue. He wears a shirt as opposed to everyone else. It's a big
Why
deal.
so many stars?
Now this is the end of some of my favorite things, because obviously you can tell he's a gamer. This is my end of some of my favorite things from his blog. We're going to move now on to articles that he has, I didn't check their whole history, but almost certainly entirely written by himself. Sex in the Smurf Fandom Wiki. Sex is an intimate interpersonal activity among humans and various species of animals that is used for procreation, pleasure, and expressing love for one another. I'm sorry, Mike, did you have something to say?
I was just like, yeah, they've got like a content warning for children, but like, what child is going to be reading the Smurfs fan wiki?
No,
in
fan
the year
in
of
wiki,
our,
Mike.
In the year of our Lord 2021.
It's fine, Mike. It's fine. Within Christianity, it is
Oh,
considered
God.
a privilege and a blessing for heterosexual married couples, and it is meant to unite the man and woman together as one flesh. Outside of religion and marriage, sex tends to be used mostly for recreational purposes, though there are people who use it for financial purposes.
Is this on his blog or is this the wiki itself?
This is the wiki. Smurfs fanon.fandomwiki .com/wiki/sex.
Okay, I was making sure it wasn't him specifically posting this.
No, it is 100% him that has done almost all the edits. You can check the edit history, but I'm not making an account on this just to check.
Got it.
Just the sheer amount of edits this guy has done, remember, 69,000. There is almost no chance he has not edited this, considering almost the entire thing is about his thing. But we'll get to that. Policy. Since this is a mostly PG-rated fanon wiki, please keep the descriptions of potential sex scenes toned down with no graphic descriptions of what is going on in them. Mainstream Smurfs media. In a mainstream Smurfs media, it is a topic that is generally avoided due to the characters and story being created mostly for children, and any attention of Smurfs engaging in this activity would most likely appear in non-canonical works of an adult nature. However, it can be assumed that the Smurfs do have some level of education on this topic when it comes to how humans and animals reproduce, since the Smurfs themselves can only reproduce through non-physical means. In Smurfily Ever After, during Smurfette's imagined spot of being married to Hefty, there is a hint of this about to happen in Hefty and Smurfette's honeymoon, but but as it turned out, he merely took Smurfette to his house to do exercises with her. And
Sex
here we have
exercises.
Empath.
Yep. Obviously.
The luckiest Smurf. I'm not going to read all this shit. But one very important thing to note, if you notice here, the activity itself is euphemistically referred to as getting under one's hat, a Smurf mating ritual that only occurs during a married couple's honeymoon period, although other terms like sharing intimacy are also used. And here we have a picture of a honeymoon. Don't worry about this too much. I'm just showing you that he does make these himself. But one of the very important things in the lore of Empath, the luckiest Smurfs, general vibe, is that underneath each male Smurf's hat, there is no hair. They are all bald. What you should know is that the bald head of a male Smurf is an erogenous zone. So getting under one's hat is like saying getting in one's pants, if you will. Any questions?
Damn.
Yeah? Is that
I mean,
that's all you got right now?
That's where this is going, apparently.
It's a tremendous amount of brain power devoted to answering a question no one ever asked or cared to know.
That's not even
Yes,
a
this is
fraction
a
of
lot
his
of-
brain power, Mike.
This is a lot of dedication to something
In
that no
human
one will probably
cultures,
read.
sex within human cultures in this time period of the series, the time period of the series happens mostly with consenting adults that are either married or unmarried. Mostly. Though cultural norms may dictate its appropriateness. In the story Smurfette's Inner Beauty, Hogatha, the witch, used Smurfette's beauty to make herself attractive in order to engage Harlequin the warlock in a one-night stand in her own castle, which she barred to keep the Smurfs who were pursuing her from entering. But that does bring up one very important question.
Wait, they were pursuing her? Isn't it usually the wizards pursuing the Smurfs?
Well, there's a whole pile of wizards in Empath the Luckiest Smurf. Let's talk about the Imaginarium. Also, if you notice, some very good art in the Imaginarium. So, the Imaginarium in Empath the Luckiest Smurf story series is a Smurf village-based variant of one of the Homnibus's hovel. However, where his version only allowed its participants to see whatever they can imagine, the Smurf village version creates actual realistic environments for their participates to, or whatever the participates can imagine. It is similar to the holodeck technology from Star Trek series franchise of stories.
In that it literally is.
Yes. So,
There you go.
what could we possibly use a holodeck-esque technology for in a Smurf fan story? What do you think?
I don't like that tab name.
Oh, yes. Well,
Yeah.
We will get to the next tab soon. But, if you remember... Oh. Did anyone do it? Implied sex with Imaginarium characters. Okay. So we'll just leave that there. They have a holodeck, and it lets them create realistic environments. But you brought it up, so I'll let you know. Also, on the Smurf fandom wiki. Pornography, often abbreviated porn, also called erotica, is the portrayal of sexual subject matter for the exclusive purpose of sexual arousal. Pornography may be presented in a variety of media, including books, magazines, postcards, photographs, sculpture, drawing, painting, animation, sound recording, phone calls, writing, film, video, and video games. The term applies to the
Postcards?
depiction...
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Who sends porn postcards? Like, hey, thinking of you in Miami, just a giant dick
He's
or
being
something.
He's being very thorough. He wants you to know everything you could possibly use as a sort of vehicle for delivering people porn, okay? He's just letting you know.
Well, he must have seen it at some point, so I'm wondering where he found it.
Yes, he produces them. I'm not going to slander his name. I have a feeling he produces them. But in any case, the term applies to the depiction of the act rather than the act itself, and does not include live exhibitions like sex shows and striptease. The primary subjects of present-day pornographic depictions are pornographic models who pose for still photographs, pornographic actors who porn star, blah, blah, blah. Basically, porn is not about live sex shows. That's what you should know about this from the Smurf fandom wiki. Moving down. Empath, the Luckiest Smurf stories. In the Empath, Luckiest Smurf stories, pornography among the Smurfs mostly exists in the form of in-universe art and literature, although it is rarely shown to anyone outside of a few interpersonal situations. Painter, sculptor, and scribbler admittedly are the creators of such visual imagery among their peers, although this is drawn mostly from their imagination than from any personal, intimate knowledge that they have of Smurfette, the only person they could draw porn of because there apparently are no gay Smurfs. And they personally feel ashamed to show it even to their fellow Smurfs. Poet has even dabbled in the writing of lurid poetry and literature for his own personal enjoyment. With the invention of the Imaginarium, however, pornography has been taken to a whole new level, as the Smurfs themselves can interact with an imagined version of Smurfette in any kind of fantasy situation they can think of. We're going to leave that there, but just know that I can keep scrolling. And finally, we have the Cathedral. VicGeorge419.net.
Okay. Christian-related websites.
Well, we will get there. What do you think?
It's
Oh, boy.
it's definitely made by someone named Vic George. That's for sure. Based on what I can see, I especially love the V's in the background.
Oh, thepongstory.com.
It's so blue too, and it makes sense when you know who Vic George is.
Yeah? There's also Toonpedia, Cartoon Network, the DC database. He does love him some DCs. The Marvel database. He does love him some Marvel. The Superhuman homepage, fanfiction.net.
Hold on.
Yeah, okay, no, yeah, I think you might have found something, Mike, that I was going to mention. Go ahead.
So, two things. Under miscellaneous websites, I see Feminist Frequency and Fat, Ugly, or Slutty.
Yeah,
we will get to that.
Arrowwind? I honestly think that's another one of those types. Except it's Morrowind. I feel like it's going to be Morrowind, but not good.
Do you know what Feminist Frequency is?
No, not at all.
Feminist Frequency is a... Mike, how would you describe it?
I don't know. I think it's a podcast by Anita Sarkeesian, I think.
Yes,
or some sort of thing like that.
A small group of creators, typically with a obviously feminist and somewhat leftist perspective. I can't really give you my entire opinion on it because I haven't seen much about it, but it's all right. I mean, I haven't really watched much of their shit, but I've seen back during the Gamergate bullshit, all that kind of stuff. But in any case, yes. Vic George is at least aware of Feminist Frequency and at least knowledgeable enough of them to put them on his list of websites that you can go visit. Are we thinking anything else about this?
Why is it still MySpace on there? I wonder if he keeps it going.
I'll let you know right now. One of my favorite things about these links is they're just home pages.
Wait,
these
what?
are not his Wikipedia pages. Oh, shit. Oh.
Yeah, I don't... Damn.
1 second. 1 second.
Good job.
Pause for the cause. Ah, shit. Oh, fuck. That's not good.
Dude recently,
Recently closed. Ah, I know, you're a genius.
Force back on it.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, no, we're not there yet. Ooh, I let you see behind the veil. In any case. Any questions about this?
Yeah, it's weird. Not that I'm gonna say. It's just websites he likes. I don't.
Why is Superman get his own page and not part of the DC database?
And then it's just oh, you want to go to Amazon.com?
Yes, Wikipedia, eBay, YouTube, Amazon, MySpace.
Wait, is Lulu... What is that? Is that Lululemon?
I don't know. I have not bothered. But...
I'm curious.
We will get to some things of. First of all...
The good, clean, funnies list.
This caught your eye.
Oh, no.
I bet that caught your eye.
Yeah, well, more like the in memory of and then left behind caught my eye, but artworks is probably not going to be good either.
Let's click that. And here we have...
Oh, jeez.
A lot of artwork. We're just going to enjoy this. And we're just going to look at it.
I will give him credit. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. He seems to have been working on it. Though the shades are really weird.
This one's probably one of my favorites.
I would love to know the context of this.
There's probably more context than I think you're willing or able to handle. It's their large family. Let's keep it going. This is one of my favorites. He has been doing this for a very long time.
Yeah.
Where's another one? Oh, yes. Smurfzilla. He's worse than the Stave Puft Marshmallow Man. Be very afraid. He's out to collect humans. Last year, a giant rampaging Smurf named Smurfzilla had almost destroyed the world. Fortunately, scientists in Belgium had found a way to shrink his blue monstrosity back down to Smurf size. The world thought the giant Smurf threat was over. They were wrong. Watch out for son of Smurfzilla, brawling his way to your town. Or crawling his way to your town.
Wouldn't they
Ooh,
just shrink
golly.
him too?
You sure wouldn't want to change his, I believe that's meant to be Dipey, but it says Didey.
Yeah,
'Cause,
thanks, Belgium.
So you say, if Belgium shrunk him, wouldn't they just immediately shrink him? They already found the cure for it.
Some interesting shit going on in these pictures. I like this one. This one's pretty great. There's quite a few quite a few
That's
absolute
so-
bangers in here.
It's so fucking lazy.
And I
That
think you're
one's,
starting to sort of understand where we're at with Vic George. He is definitely a character for sure, but he has some weird like anti-war postings. Oh, this is one of my favorites.
Oh, I
What
love
the
that
The
guy.
greatest crossover in cinematic history.
Please tell me this is actually one of his stories.
2003.
I
huh?
couldn't tell you. This exists as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what this is. If you try to read it like it's a serial killer letter, it is not. He just did this. Feel the power, the brains, radical dude, magic, beyond reality, beyond imagination, beyond belief. Did they hear that? Good idea. Believe it or not, superhero powerful. Move over, Masters. A new champion is kicking in. One dream. Save the beach. Score big. Sonic. Exciting. Cool. A classic. Drips with bizarre humor. Way out there. Wave of the future. The. All things to describe.
The. Just the.
All things that describe Empath, the luckiest Smurf. So you guys kind of getting a good idea of what we're about here at Empath, the luckiest Smurf, and VicGeorge49.net.
He's probably not married.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this one. Oh, Empath, something's wrong with Papa Smurf. Great ancestors. Papa Smurf is more smurfed up than hefty, and even that Neander Smurf. Oh shit, I read it wrong. Whatever. Big buff Papa Smurf.
What?
He's smurfed up. You don't
He's
realize?
all smurfed up. He's smurfing
You'd be like
crazy.
that too if you smurfed up, Mike.
Oh, that's what I've been doing wrong all these years.
Yeah, you need to smurf up instead of jacking up.
And now, what I will do is I will find a good picture to leave us on. And we will hold it there while I read you a few interesting things. So, believe it or not, TV Tropes, the website, has an entire page dedicated to the tropes located in Empath, the luckiest Smurf universe. I believe, but I'm not sure, that all of these have been written by Vic George himself. Not the Empath stories, but all these TV tropes, because the article is extremely long. One of the longest I've seen. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Yes.
One of the tropes. Adventures in the Bible. Done via Imaginarium instead of time travel in the story The Smurf of Solomon, as Empath tries to find out who the beloved in the Song of Solomon that Smurfette was enamored to is. Played straight through time travel in Smurf Behind the Passion of the Smurfs, when the Smurfs visit Jerusalem during the time of Jesus' first death and resurrection. How are we feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah? No
Yeah.
opinions on that yet?
Yeah. Which also I have to say, and this is maybe a little unfair to this man, but
Yeah.
as you're reading this and with this image up here, it's like the file photo you would put on like the news after like some sort of horrific tragedy has occurred.
Well, that's just the thing, Mike. I actually have much better pictures to display to you. Much better. We have... Mike, is that picture not doing it enough for you? Would you like a better one?
I don't know what doing it means to you in that context.
Would you like to see what it means? Are you willing to open up that bag?
Oh boy, you're gonna show it to me anyway, so sure.
All right. If you'd like to look in the Discord chat, I will send it. There is Vic George as he presents himself when writing.
God.
Hmm.
Why does he look like he's part of a cult?
The Cult of Christ.
Yeah, that's
I honestly feel like he
Oh, boy.
believes Jesus is a Smurf.
Who knows? Moving on. Another trope. Ascend to a higher plane of existence. Empath in the story Smurfing in Heaven is made to believe this is what happened to him when he was left alone by the other Smurfs when they were lost in time travel. That he died and has now ascended to Elysium to be with the other Smurfs who have also presumably perished, where he will be given the mantle of godhood. As it turns out, Empath really didn't die, and the Elysium he was taken to was a magical illusion created by Ares, the god of war, in order to lure his subjects, his object of admiration into becoming his god of conquest. So now we understand that Ares, the god of war, is part of the Empath, the Luckiest Smurfs universe, and that he wants his favorite object of admiration, Empath, the Luckiest Smurf, into becoming a god.
Apparently, also the paradise of Greek mythology is in there too.
Yes, heaven. In any case,
yeah.
go ahead.
It feels like for a man who has like some serious Christian leanings, it feels like pretty significant heresy to be like, oh yeah, also the Greek pantheon exists. And like,
Because the Greek pantheon's a lot cooler, so he's gonna throw that in there for the readers.
Clearly, Michael,
doesn't
you have
like
never
it.
met any Christian crystal mommies.
and like also like a random tiny blue creature can like just become a god.
No,
Especially
Mike.
a god of war.
The god of conquest. There's already a god of war.
Oh, sorry, god of conquest.
And he can't just become a god. He's going to be granted that power by Ares, Mike.
Because everyone who sees this tiny little thing marching with his army of, I guess, other tiny little things would be terrified and immediately surrender.
We'll keep moving on. Another trope. Backstore horror. It's amazing how most of the Smurfs under Papa Smurf's care live happy, carefree lives like in the cartoon show, given that the parents who were the Smurfs of Papa Smurf's generation have all died in the plague that is only fatal to adults back when the Smurfs were just little Smurflings. And of course, there's Papa Smurf suggesting his only begotten son, Empath. This is a spoiler for Empath, the Luckiest Smurf. If you don't like that, please click away now.
Alright,
Papa
bye.
Smurf subjecting his only begotten son, Empath, to 150 years of living in Psychelia with a group of xenophobic, emotionless telepaths.
I gotta read this story, man.
It's a lot of words that have been written. It's multiple novels.
But it sounds so interesting, so, in-depth, so put together.
And this is where we learn about one of the new things. Psychs, otherwise known as psychic Smurfs, who are raised... We'll get there. We'll talk about how psychic Smurfs are born. Another trope in his stories, born as an adult. Actually, psychs are grown in gestation chambers for a year until they become the equivalent of a 50-year-old Smurflings. No specific reason is given for this.
Just, it is, I guess.
Look at the picture, Mike. Look at it. Look at him.
Damn. This is some real like. It's like, oh yeah, so there's like a holodeck, you know, from like literally just the holodeck from Star Trek. Also, like we have like the Astronomicon from like 40K, and we're just throwing a bunch of like psychic Smurfs into just sacrifice to keep the immortal Papa Smurf alive.
Fun fact. Actually, let me find it. I believe it's here somewhere. There is art that he's drawn of them as Star Trek characters.
Oh
It
no.
might not be
Yeah,
on
I
this. It might not be on
I,
this.
I spied those.
Oh, did you see them? Where were they?
Oh, I don't remember what page, but I think I saw them in uniform. I don't.
Well, in any case, I will post it in the Discord for you to look at your pleasure. Did I get it? Oh, damn, I didn't get it. Not great. In any case, I'll bring us to our next image just to give you a little taste of what we're looking at. Law and Order, Smurf Village Unit.
So you got Brainy, Grumpy, I guess, and who's the last one?
I don't know. I'm not a Smurf fan. But we'll move on to more tropes. We'll ignore that. We'll just look at that picture for a second. Another trope that appears in Smurf, or Empath, the Luckiest Smurf.
Damn, all Smurfs are bastards.
Blood
Apparently.
magic.
Oh,
In
Christ.
What is this? Dragon Age now?
No, it is much better than you think it is. I promise you, it is a lot. It's even funnier than you think it is. In Where the Wind Carries You, which is an adaptation of the cartoon show episode Never Smurf Off Till Tomorrow, Tapper, who appears in the place of the adult Nat Smurf among the Smurfs who were taken by the hurricane and dumped inside a volcano which they escape, claims the blood of Jesus Christ over himself and his fellow Smurfs to protect them from the sharks that come swimming around them, ready to devour them. Whether it is because of this or what Tapper says, the sharks eventually swimming away, leaving the Smurfs unharmed. So through the
blood
invocation
magic...
of the power of Jesus Christ and his blood, he was able to ward off a deadly shark attack.
Yeah, because there's nothing sharks hate more than blood in the water.
No,
No,
they
you
just
understand.
don't like
He's claiming the
holy
protection of
blood in the
Jesus,
water.
the holy blood of Jesus. He calls on the power of Jesus' blood in order to protect him and his friends.
He's a Christian bloodbender.
Yeah, yeah, is he?
Yeah, he's a Christian bloodbender, obviously. Little do we know, he also threw Avatar in here.
There is no blood more powerful than that of Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, we love you!
Good God.
That's very good. Another very fun thing. Oh, geez, that made me lightheaded. Fuck me. Okay. In the mini-story, The Only Begotten Son, Tapper points out the similarities between Empath's quote-unquote death as an infant and Jesus' death on the cross, in that both deaths have resulted in bringing forth many to become adopted children. With Jesus' death, the humans become adopted children of God, and with Empath's death, his fellow Smurfs becoming adopted children of Papa Smurf.
One more time?
In the mini-story, The Only Begotten Son, Tapper Smurf, points out the similarities between Empath, the luckiest Smurf, death, his quote-unquote death, as an infant, and Jesus' death on the cross, in that both deaths have resulted in bringing forth many to become adopted children. With Jesus' death, the humans became adopted children of God. And with Empath's death, his fellow Smurfs becoming adopted children of Papa Smurf. In this sort of comparison, we're comparing Empath, the luckiest Smurf, to Jesus. And we're comparing Jesus' literal death in this to Empath's metaphorical death. And then we're comparing Papa Smurf to God. And as you saw earlier, he has the physique to match. Papa Smurf being hulked out, that is.
This man is definitely not married. I don't even think he has a girlfriend.
Don't cast aspersions on him. You have no idea.
If he
I
does, I would love to meet the saint of a lady
I
who's
would
his
100%
wife.
love to meet her.
Yeah, I really don't.
Mike, we're not done. Do you
Because
want to
imagine,
be more
he
confused?
wears this every time he writes. He must write at least a couple of times a week. So she's guaranteed to see him in this thing more than every once in a while. Like, at least a few times a week.
69,500 posts.
Yeah, so, I
and
mean...
several
someone
novel-length fan fictions.
Someone who can live with that either is an avid reader of his work and actually likes what he does,
Or it's
or
him.
an absolute saint.
Oh, that's a married to him. Okay.
Yeah, that's married to him.
We'll move on. In the series, a male Smurf's bald head is considered an erogenous zone, which is part of why they must wear hats, though it can only be triggered by the touch of a female Smurf, or just a female in general. This was mentioned by Papa Smurf to Hefty in I Dream of Smurfette. There is no gay fucking in this universe, okay? Let's make it very clear. There's absolutely no gay fucking whatsoever.
Wait, if they have to wear hats, why are they wearing pants?
That's a good question. It's a very good question, Mike. We do never get the answer to that.
Oh.
Just as the guest Jason
Okay.
chambers that generate 50-year-old psychic Smurfs are never explained, we never get an explanation for that. I did look.
Well, no, like even that's like we're going to the lengths of now there's like weird psychic telepaths and like holodeck chambers, but like you can't explain that like my bald head is basically my dick, but I still wear pants for some reason.
Well, presumably,
That's so
Mike,
lazy.
cold.
unless
What do
they
you
rub
mean?
their heads together to fuck, presumably, because Empath, as you saw in the pictures before, has children, he does have a cock, and he does bust sloppy nuts in Smurfette. So presumably he does still have a cock. Moving on. Another trope. Duncan McSmurf decides to get stoned out of his mind with Smurfnip in an alternate timeline story where he witnesses Smurfette marrying Papa Smurf. Grouchy in the main timeline story, Smurfnip Madness tries to resist the temptation of smoking a Smurfnip cigarette, but ends up succumbing to it and almost being arrested by Brainy and Hefty, posing as police officers. And you now have the context for that picture. Law and Order, Smurf Village Unit.
Why does everything have to have the word Smurf
Wow.
in it? Just call it a cigarette.
I didn't know the war on drugs extended to the Smurf universe.
It
Well,
does
Mike,
now.
That's not the only thing that extends to the Smurf universe.
I'm sure
Another
it's-
trope. In Polaris's Smurfy New Life, Hefty forms a clan-like band of Smurfs called the Order of the True Smurfs, whose single target of hatred is Polaris Psyche, who is white compared to the Smurfs, although in this story his skin temporarily turns blue as a side effect of taking the Long Life Elixir. So there is an in-universe brotherhood of Ku Klux Klan member Smurfs, led by Hefty Smurf.
The hell? Man, now I thought I knew him, but now I'm questioning some things.
Fun fact, let me find it for you. Oh, please tell me I didn't. 1 second. Oh,
Why
we
does
never
he
did
use
look at the
the
rest of his
wrong
website. That's a
shade-
good point.
Why does he use the wrong shade of blue on his Smurfs?
He has a few notable poems on his website.
Oh
In the
my
Flesh
God.
by Vic George 2000.
Oh,
I look at myself and wonder day by day, who will ever love me in the flesh? I was made for someone out there, but who would ever become one with me? The flesh that has sustained and protected me has now become a curse upon my soul, for its carnal desires demand satisfaction. I am made wretched in this form, a sheep in wolf's clothing, unworthy, undeserving in the eyes of man. Loved only through lusting appetites. The world rejects what I want to give them, because it does not come from them. But God won't allow the for flesh to inherit the wondrous kingdom of heaven, that Jesus prepared only for the spirit. I am left to wonder what I love more. The boast of fulfilled desire through the flesh, or the promise of eternal love through the spirit. But in the meantime, I still wait for the other half, that he might bind me within both.
I suppose that answers your question about whether or not he's married or something.
No. This was 21 years ago that this was written.
yeah, I was gonna say this is.
And
You
I'm
can
not
still-
going to dox, nor am I going to research Vic George in such an intimate way. I feel it being unfair to him.
This is definitely a lot cheaper and possibly healthier than his e-girl addiction he would have otherwise. I'm just
No,
saying,
it's
like,
slander! Stop slandering Vic George!
you don't write a poem like that unless you are lonely and you need some
It
kind
was
of
the
outlet.
2000s! Okay,
Just saying.
we'll move on
He
to another
wrote,
poem.
he wrote a lot of these this year.
He wrote quite a few.
It was a tough year for George, okay? Leave him alone.
Another dramatic reading. No Rewards by Vic George, 2000. It's also written, when I say by Vic George 2000, it's not written by Vic George, published 2000. It's by Vic George 2000. All through life. It's been about doing something just to get something you want. Nobody gets something for nothing. For what is good is gaining it, if there is no effort put into getting it. For what good would be in doing it if there was no good, or there was nothing to gain from the effort? But sometimes we are tempted to get something we love so much, we would do anything to get it now, more than to potentially wait to get it. Sometimes we may not receive what has been promised to us. Other times it satisfies us for a while, but in the end, it leaves us empty. The treasure becomes cold and rusted, the pleasures become short and forgotten, the flesh becomes old and weak, and its beauty erodes with the years. So what if we lived not for the goal, but for the journey toward it? Can we put away our desires for the tangible and live for something that endures forever? Could it be something better than what we wanted will be there for us? We have only to trust in that belief to find out.
My theory is coming stronger and stronger each passing poem.
Now this one's a bit long, so I'm going to have to take breaks in it, but another fantastic one. Love for the Loser by Vic George, 2001. Different author. This is 2001 Vic George, not Vic George. 2000. All day long. We live as strangers and outcasts, standing outside the gates of paradise, looking into a world we want to be in, a world of love and free expression. We cannot break through the gates. A barrier is cast between us and the dream. The ones standing inside paradise briefly look at us, and then shake their heads and cast us away. They can only look long enough to scoff at us, our friends, our brothers, and our sisters. Even our parents mock us for our failure. We are hated because we are not like them. Success at everything, even taking ungodly risks, reaping the harvest that they have sown. We toil day and night just enough to eat bread, and still our hearts and souls are not satisfied. How we long to be like them in paradise, to enjoy pleasing fruits in our hard labors, to be clothed in never-ending joy. But for those who are already in paradise, dare to scorn us by being the gatekeepers. They refuse to even see what it is like out there, to a time when they were two strangers outside of love. All they can do is throw laughter in our faces and display their victory so grotesquely, and then shut the gates and lock up the keys, saying it's either through our way or no way. They make us want to hate them, to envy them, to stir up a rage that would consume our souls, to send them and ourselves into the same pit. We are left standing outside with one who has sent us. Oh, God damn, that's really fucked up prose. We are left standing outside with one who was sent to be with us as a stranger and an outcast, hated because no one would accept him. Because all he has for us is his undying love. His Father has promised an eternal paradise hidden beyond a narrow path only a few can find. A paradise where one can eat and be satisfied, and all tears shall be morning dew in the sun, dried from the coldness of the long night. He says that the paradise we are seeing is only one made on earth, made by flesh, a paradise that will one day be consumed by fire, and all their successes shall be laid bare in ashes. Come, follow me away from here, says the one, and I will heal your broken hearts, and you will be clothed in white, for my love is one without ending or beginning. Those who have been long comforted in carnality shall be like fallen angels in burning sulfur, while those who have suffered through this life without even a single caring touch of another will be enshrouded in the arms of the everlasting. That's Vic George. So back to Smurf shit.
Yeah, so my theory is ironclad at this point.
Just some casual fucking revelations in there.
See, I thought he was no harm, but now I'm a little worried for him. I hope that 20 years afterwards he kind of collected himself a bit.
This is a bit of a spoiler. I do have to go back through something. I thought I had gotten it, but I will have to go back through and find it. But he has very, very strange sort of opinions about things. Where on one side he's like, a weird like conservative Christian man who writes like sex stories about the Smurfs on the internet, but he's also against like Fox News and like the current government establishment and shit. It's really fucking weird. Actually, let me see if I can find it real quick. Come on. This. Nice little Steven Crowder cameo. Where is it? Oh, it's somewhere here. Is it in his message wall? Oh, no. Let me find it. Sorry. I'm looking for
So, Mike, you want to try to change my mind now?
No.
That's what I thought. I hope George found happiness.
Oh, yes,
Or at least George 2001 found happiness.
Here's the official like Tripping Balls on Mushrooms playlist by Vic George 2K9.
Okay, White Rabbit, yeah.
Purple Haze, Space Oddity, Comfortably Numb, Miracles, I Am the Walrus, all along the Watchtower, Tuesday Afternoon, White Room, Brain Damage / Eclipse, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, What a Wonderful World, Magic Carpet Ride, Strawberry Fields, Foxy Lady, Nights in White Satin, Cinnamon Girl, Incense, and Peppermints. Reminder! This is not to encourage the use of drugs. This is simply a list of songs to enjoy whether you are under the influence of them or not. Comment by THDG. Nice list.
Nice.
I have to find it. I have to find the fucking picture.
At least we know people are looking at it. If there's comments, that means people have seen it.
What we can say for sure is that this man is a man of multitudes.
He
is. He is a ogre. He is
truly
multi-layered
he is the Renaissance man.
Immensely.
So I'm not sure, but all these are just people he knows of that have died. This is the in memory of page. Now, obviously, rest in peace or whatever to all these people, but it's a little fucking weird.
Yeah, yeah.
To be fair, it seems like his whole life revolves around this, so I think it's actually pretty nice.
I believe... See, this is what I mean. Like, he goes through all the effort to individually add every person he, like, wants to, like, rest in peace or whatever to his, like, wall of dead people that are as Smurfs. Including, I believe the, I don't remember her name. The actress who played Smurfette is in here somewhere.
And yet he has a clan in one of his books.
Yes, hold on. You mean to refer to the Order of the True Smurfs?
Yeah. This man is a man of intrigue and mystery.
He certainly is. These are his video game systems that he owns. And these are video game articles that he likes. We're not going through these. I tried, but it would make this far too long. We're not going through these. We're trying to keep this down a little bit in time.
The gaming articles.
Here's his music. Defying Gravity, Corridors, Revival in Belfast, Come and Heal This Land, Revival in Belfast 2, High and Lifted Up, Shout Out to the Lord. Shout to the Lord, I'm sorry. Left Behind, Michael. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh no, the Left Behind music soundtrack. Movie soundtrack.
Yep.
This man is very well.
And here's a list of everything he's ever written.
Oh my god.
Also, I did want to go over this. This is very important. This is the thing we're going to end this on, I think, and then we'll have a little discussion. Who's the Who and Empath like his Smurf universe? No. The Smurfs and the related likeness are trademarks of Studio Peyo IMPS licensing, a fanfiction story series not authorized nor endorsed by the copyright owners. Moving on. Empath. The main character of his fanfiction series, the biological son of Papa Smurf, given the title of Luckiest Smurf by his fellow Smurfs due to his abilities. Empath has telepathy and psychic powers. Moving on. Papa Smurf, Culliford. Leader of the village, the biological father of Empath, and the foster father of the other Smurfs, previously known as Culliford or Cully, in flashback sequences involving his feral Smurfs. Smurfette. Gargamel's magically created female Smurf turned real Smurf has a romantic interest in Empath. Polaris Psyche. Empath's friend from Psychelia, who has the same power as Empath does. Psyche Master, the omniscient leader of Psychelia, where Polaris Psyche comes from, and where Empath lived for his first 150 years of living. Now, I will note, in one of the alternate universe tales where Empath, the luckiest Smurf, does not fuck and have a ton of children with Smurfette, he becomes the new Psychic Master of Psychelia. I'll leave that there. Traveler. Empath's great-grandson from the future who is a time traveler. Also related to Smurfette and Polaris Psyche. Lilithinia, the wife of Papa Smurf, the mother to both Empath and Brainy, the later through her fellow Smurf, Aristotle. Brainy, the village intellectual and Empath's biological half-brother. Clumsy, the village klutz and Brainy's closest friend, likes to collect rocks. Hefty, the village strongman who constantly finds himself at odds with Empath. Handy, the village mechanic and inventor. Greedy, blah, 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 these don't matter. Vanity, the village narcissist, has a twin brother named Century, birthed in the story The 100 Smurf. Dreamy, the village adventurer who became Astro Smurf. He is the captain of the SS Smurf 2.
Oh, so he's not like sleeping dreamy. He's like dreamy as in a hung.
What happened to the Smurf 1?
There is a lot more to this that I decided to cut for time. That is all I will say.
Well, you gotta explain the Smurf 1 at least.
No. Okay. Crashed at a volcano, got destroyed, I believe.
A volcano?
I'm
All
not.
right, whatever.
I told you.
Okay.
Cut
Sure,
for time.
yes, fine.
Alright, that's alright. Yep.
Okay. Sloppy, the village garbage collector who likes smelly things. Also a musician who plays guitar. Barber, the village haircutter who keeps Tapper company when he's not working.
Why does he have a haircut if they're all bald? What, do they need their pubes? Do they need their pubes trimmed or something?
No, their head is bald.
Alright. There's some holes in these stories I don't like.
Tapper, the village barkeep and brewer who is close friend of Empath, speaks with an Irish accent. Yes, there are accents for the Smurfs. Yes, the only barkeep is Irish. Yes, the Smurfs drink alcohol. Yes, they use catnip and Smurf nip and get super fucking high. Another note, I had to leave this out for time. Tapper sells something called sarsaparilla ale, which is definitely not an addictive substance, and definitely unlike Smurf nip. Vic George actually uses those two characters, Tapper, who is dressed up like an Irish person. Like I said, had to cut it for time. He sells sarsaparilla ale, but also Smurf nip is illegal for no reason. And it seems that Vic George is an extremely outspoken advocate for the decriminalization of drugs. So, just moving on.
Okay.
Minor, the village splunk with a Scottish accent. Sweepy, the village Shimasweep. Tapper keeps company when he's not working. Speak with either an Australian or Cockney-type accent. And then finally we get down to the very interesting ones. Nap, Snappy, and Slouchy refers to refugees from Smurfling Island who settled in the Smurf village in order to become adult Smurfs, collectively calling themselves the Smurflings. Nat loves to protect nature, Snappy's rather impulsive, and Slouchy's just laid back. Sassette, Smurfette's adopted little sister who is also part of the Smurflings. Baby Smurf, we're not getting into that. Puppy, the village pet who holds a lock that only Baby Smurf can open. And I think there's a train.
Ghost train. Happens every time.
Okay, the train is passed.
Nope.
It's passed. Oh, no, it's still going. Whatever. There's a train.
Always like a train.
In any case, what do you guys think of Vic George? And while we're on our end note, we'll make sure to display some of Vic George's work. What do you guys think?
Ooh.
I think he's a man who did a good thing by turning to literature for his outlet than other things he might have turned into that other people have with bad results.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, okay, what's going on?
I think if you had asked me I would like you to describe a libertarian to me. I think you couldn't have done a better job than this.
Yeah. Yeah,
he has
right.
a little like I couldn't find it again because there's so much fucking shit on his website, dude. It's insane. Like I said, the most prolific Smurf fan fiction writer in all of human history. But I will say, I think he's kind of interesting because it seems like, in like a really weird way, right, that he's like a pretty normal dude with like a sort of like weird, fucked up, like fundamentalist upbringing. Because he sort of like fights for these weird like purposes that I agree with, and then he's just like, yeah, like no gay people though, and I'm like,
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like he had a specific upbringing, but he in general just uses that because that's what he was taught.
yeah,
Like a Christian kid who like that was what they brought in, but they weren't super into it. So like, yeah, God exists, but I don't go to church every Sunday. You know
well,
what I'm
okay, I won't go that far. He is definitely like a church.
Yeah, he's definitely pretty into it.
Yeah, or at least he used to be, according to his website. Granted, 20 years changes a person, but I think that he uses this as sort of like an outlet for like his real life, and I think it's like I said, one of the like the most weirdly wholesome in that he like really wants all the Smurfs to like be happy and shit and have like a nice family and like to not be part of like a doomed to dying race where there's only one female and shit. But then there's shit like the clan and the psychic master overlords who like I guess are supposed to like represent the bourgeoisie or whatever the fuck. It's very weird. I read a small amount of his fan fiction posted on his like short stories he posted on his like message wall on the Fanon wiki. And, like, the shit is fucked up, dude. It's so weird. But it's not like... There's another Smurf guy who's pretty infamous, who's, like... He writes, like, quote-unquote fan fiction, but it's, like, definitely, like, he just wants to, like, watch Smurfs get tortured. That guy is different. He's fucked in the head. I think Vic... Yeah, sorry?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Vic seems like he definitely appreciates the Smurfs and just uses them as an outlet for, like, healthy, just getting things out, and I appreciate that. Just like he seems to have a weird upbringing that kind of just muddles that up.
Yeah, it's kind of weird in that like a lot of this shit is like about like sex and shit, and you're like, oh, sex, Smurfs, right? But it kind of doesn't matter. It's kind of like he just uses like the pre-made characters as like the vehicle for his vision. It's very strange.
Yeah, because it's not like anything is explicit. It's kept fairly PG, just kind of implies it sometimes. And I haven't read it, but I assume that it's not like, oh yeah, they really got.
I wouldn't assume anything. I'll be 100% clear. I would. It might be like Game of Thrones in that shit, bro. You might want to watch out what you say.
Well, I would hope that it was more like, yeah, they love each other, so they're gonna show it, kind of thing. That's what I'm hoping is what he uses it for. I wouldn't know, because I'm not gonna go read this stuff. It seems like a rabbit hole I'm not willing to jump down to because I don't know if I'll ever get out.
Well, before we leave, I'm going to give you a few cursed images to look at.
Oh, joy.
Here's the first one.
Oh boy, what is this? All right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. I'm a big I just had to like put these out. Here is his like anti-drug thing, like the hypocrisy of like Fox News. By the way, this is literally called Tapper using Fox News logic.png when I downloaded it. Smurfnif is a dangerous drug that leads Smurfs into using harder drugs. That's why you should only celebrate with a glass of sarsaparilla ale. Tapper using Fox News logic. See what I mean? He's a very multifaceted man. But we're going to go right back to the cursed images. Here you go. And you can still be free if time will set you free. Papa Smurf.
This looks like fucking Neon Genesis Evangelion.
You mean
Congratulations.
Neon Genesis Smurf Evangelion, sir.
Yeah, sure. Oh, pardon me.
Oh, and this is he's probably like he's definitely like a boomer dude. And this is like a minion meme sort of deal that I just thought you'd love to see.
I agree with that one, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of put in that format.
Oh, and then we have this.
I forgot they have tails.
We have Brainy's sign from God.png. I don't get it, God. they're supposed to be Christians, but every time I try to tell them that we're supposed to conquer the world and make it Christian before Jesus returns, I get ignored. Or worse, I get banned or beamed in the head with a mallet. I just don't think that they're true Christians at all. This is Smarty Smurf, whatever this fucking dude's name is.
Brainy.
I just want you to tell me, God, that what the other Christians are saying is true. That our goal is not to conquer the world, but simply to preach the gospel to every creature and to make disciples of all nations. All I want an answer that what I'm doing is totally wrong, and I want to be a sign from heaven that you're totally displeased with the message to the kingdom now. And I'm going to leave this room. And then he gets bonked in the head by a mallet. Which is like I said, like a protest against, like, I assume the war in, like, Afghanistan and shit. Like, because obviously this was made, like, a little after 2000, when he started his, like, online presence. And, like I said, it's really fucking weird. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he still makes clans and stuff.
Yeah. So, to be fair, in that story, from what I read, the synopsis of it, they're definitely the bad guys. Like the order.
Oh, so he makes them out to be bad guys.
Yeah, so like Brawny Smurf is always a fucking dickhead.
Right.
And he is the leader of them, and they are portrayed as shitters.
Oh, okay. That makes me think a little differently.
That's what I'm saying. Everything at first blush, I thought he was a fucking weirdo. But he is definitely a super and mega level weirdo the more I researched it. But, he's not a terrible person from what I know.
I honestly want to meet this man.
I would love to have him on the show. But in any case, yeah, that's the first episode of Talkin Topics. What did you guys have fun?
Yeah, I just want to make one point, and
yeah, go ahead.
Maybe this is a little mean to him, but you've had this fucking photo of him up for so long, and I just realized what it finally reminded me of.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen like the footage from like Osama bin Laden's like like jerk shack
that
he was hiding out in. This is that. Like
oh no.
Are you comparing Vic George to Osama bin Laden?
I'm just saying
he's comparing his living conditions to Osama bin Laden.
Like the aesthetics of this image of himself is very similar to like the footage that like I'm not saying that he is like that.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's a very
we'll see everyone next week, I guess.
I'm just saying it's a very unfortunate aesthetic comparison.
Sadness.
Hey, this is Gooterspooch. Just coming in at the end to let you know that I really do appreciate if you watch the whole thing. I know my editing's kind of garbage right now, but this is pretty much the first video I've ever edited, and I just want to let everyone know that if you watch this far, I'm very appreciative, and just let me know if you have any tips or tricks I might be able to implement in the future. Put them in the comments. Let me know if you're one of my homies I sent this to, shit like that. You know, just in general, I'd love to hear back from you all. And yeah, that's it.